Glad you're back with us on the Mark Cox Show. You know, I was talking to my wife about this the other day because Reilly Fitzmaurice, we've crossed her tracks several times because my son was on the Lafayette High School basketball team this year, and Vicky Goldstein, who's a good friend of the show and listens all the time. She's done some fundraising efforts on behalf of Reilly, and I've just kind of gotten to know her and learned a little bit more about her story. And I asked she and her mother to come into the studio today. So Amy and Reilly, welcome into the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Amy, I guess I'll start with you because you guys got blindsided by this situation last fall,
right?
When Reilly's in middle school and she's like every other teenage girl out doing things like everyone else. Right. No health problems prior to that. Why don't you set that up for us, please?
Well, Reilly was playing soccer, and it was about October 25th. She came to her dad and I. She said, when I suck in, I kind of feel something when I'm sucking in my stomach. It's okay. So she laid down and kind of pressed on her stomach, and it felt different, like kind of fluidy. So went to the doctor, got some went to the pediatrician, got some initial blood work, and first diagnosis was leukemia. So we went that day of that diagnosis, we went to St. John's, and through other further testing, through a CT scan, they saw that her liver was completely cirrhosed. Oh my gosh. So then all of this is going on. Others, the signs, I guess, that she had, tired. Looking back, okay, she was more tired than normal, but teenagers, 13-year-olds are, pretty tired. So they did a biopsy, and it said her liver is completely cirrhosed. Basically, the only thing we can do is a transplant. So all of this it's autoimmune hepatitis and autoimmune disease, which very many people have. I have also, and I think it ran in my family. Mm-hmm. So, but mine is very treatable. It's the thyroid. A lot of people don't even know it. Right. So this is rare. So we were rushed down to basically Children's after that. And at the same day we were put on we weren't put on the transplant list yet. So we had to, talking to Children's, they said, okay, it was going to move very fast, and we're going to get you on the list. The sooner you get on the list, the sooner, okay, you're going to get the transplant. So the issue where we ran into at that time was insurance. We had insurance, but we learned that our insurance basically had a ceiling to it. So that ceiling we couldn't have insurance with the ceiling. Okay, so we had to change, and we said, fine, let's change it. What do we do? Well, we couldn't do any at that time. Because remember, at the end of last year, nothing could be done until December 1st. So we said, okay, what do we do if this child has,
she has to have the surgery when the liver becomes available, right?
Well, the issue was getting on the list first. Okay. So they do everything they can. They want to check every part of her body to make sure there's not anything else wrong, and that she can take a liver, or that she can get a transplant. Okay. So they're going to look at her esophagus. That was the main thing. So to look at it, because it can get varicose veins in it. So if those varicose veins burst, that's throwing up blood. That could be fatal. Sure. So at that time, we were not handling that well. There's nothing we can do. The insurance company, there's nothing. We couldn't get new insurance. We had to wait that, and we just fell through the cracks.
Oh, sure.
So,
Reilly, why don't you kind of? What have the last 6 months been like for you? I mean, you've been in and out of the hospital. I know.
Different, but I still am like a normal girl. I can still hang out with my friends and stuff like that.
Yeah. You just don't know what's going to happen next, right?
Yeah.
You've had the outpouring of support that I've seen out there for you has just been amazing.
Very amazing.
Lots of friends coming out of the woodwork and helping you out, huh?
Yeah. That's where we've been lucky. Yeah. So she is, as of December 1st, we change insurance, there's still, at that time, December 1st, we've run the list since then. And so now we wait. So in the meantime, we wait the doctor appointments and the blood work, and she did get the endoscope. They did some banding. They're just keep an eye out, and we try to keep her as healthy as we can until we get the liver.
Well, I mean, for you and Brian, I mean, as parents, I've got 3 kids of my own. You would do anything in the world for them, and then in this particular case, when this becomes available, you estimate the cost at over $500,000,
right?
And is there a limit on that insurance coverage? So there's about $200,000 beyond what insurance will cover that you guys are going to be on the hook for, right?
Right. There is COTA is Children's Organ Transplant Association.
Right.
So we are at the same day that you go down to Children's, you get it was like, okay, here's your brochure, like a college visit, and then, oh, by the way, there's a little card with COTA. Well, what's COTA? COTA is Children's Organ Transplant Association, and they're going to help you do a fundraiser because you're not going to be able to afford the expenses that this is going to come with.
They just tell you up front.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like, well, how do we, and at the time, as a parent, your first inclination is to think, okay, how do I deal with this? Do I have to get a job? How are I going to? And so you're not thinking, and they'll say, well, what family members? Like, well, they're busy. They work. Everybody. We've never done this. We've never had to raise money. Been part of. We've given, of course, but then when you're in it and you're the person, and all of a sudden, so it takes a little. It's just I said, just let us soak this in for a minute, okay? Mm-hmm. So you're dealing with our child who is, needing to save her life, and then you're telling me once we save her life, we're not going to be able to afford to keep her alive, basically.
Right.
So it's not, after we took a breath, then COTA, they came in, and they've been around for about 30 years. All of the expenses, all of the money that we have raised and other people have raised for Reilly, it will go towards Reilly's medical expenses. So we have the insurance, you have your deductible, you have all that, but anything that we raise, it doesn't go directly to our family. It goes to Reilly because the expense is after the transplant. So once you get the transplant, then, she's had expenses up, the co-pays and stuff like that. But when you get the transplant, it's the anti-rejection drugs that you're on for the rest of your life. That's where the expense is. So insurance will pay all but 20%. So 20% out of pocket is about $10,000 a year, but that's for the rest of your life.
Of your life, right. So COTA, and I've got a link to this on my Facebook page, the Mark Cox Show on Facebook, and there's a link on there as well to Reilly's homepage that she has, but also a link to the COTA, COTA for TeamReillyF.com. It's kind of a long website, but there is a link to it on my Facebook page, and you can go there and it's an important distinction. I'm glad it's one you made. It's not a GoFundMe page where people donate and suddenly it's your money to do with whatever you want. This money goes to the Transplant Association, who then handles it for Reilly to help with her care after we get this transplant. Right?
That was very important to us and to me. It is. At the same time, you need help from other people, and honestly, I didn't want people to what people think. What does she do? What do they do with that money? It's just, I didn't want that. You just want your child to be taken care of. What if I'm not around? What if she, and she's working and she's, in 20 years and she's, what is insurance going to be like? What is, we know nothing. So as long as, we've learned to receive, we've learned that people are good, that are generous, people have always been good. It's just, it has brought out the good in all of us, and it has shown me that people really, really care, and it's shown our younger children, our older children, just how good people really are, and they have been. Well,
Reilly, we're keeping you in our prayers. Have you been able to keep up with activities at school and sports and that sort of stuff?
Well, right now I don't go to school. I do homebound 2 times a week with my tutor. And so I don't fall behind in school and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so I'm assuming that's part of keeping her healthy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Well, I encourage people to, and here's the impressive part. I mentioned this earlier to Reilly, but the outpouring of support from the community. So their goal is to try to raise $200,000. So far, that stands at about 109 and a half. It looks like 109,000 toward that goal. I mean, that is impressive.
Yes, it is.
People have put their money where their
Yes.
mouths are, and
Yes.
they've gone on there and donated. And if you're so moved, I would encourage you to go to this webpage and try to help this family out. I mean, I just try to think if it was myself. It first of all, it's got to be humbling to have to go to somebody and say,
Yes.
"This is the mountain we have to climb," and ask for help. I know
Right.
that's not easy.
Right.
So you have our prayers.
Thank you.
Yes, Liz.
We will have the links for the Facebook page and for CODA on the blog posts.
Oh, good.
We'll
So
have
it'll be
those up.
on 971talk.com/Cox.
Yes.
Yes.
And we will share that interview on Facebook and Twitter as well. And
Thank you.
So we can get you guys the help you need.
You
Thank you
bet.
so much.
I do hope it helps. Amy, best of luck.
Thank you
and
very
Reilly,
much. I appreciate
you're in
it.
our prayers.
Thank you.
Honey, we
all we can
hope for
do.
the best. You bet. Thank you both for
Thank
coming down.
you.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right. We'll get to a quick break here. 314-969-9797. Tony Colombo's along with our latest Man on the Street interview. In fact, did you see he had his baby